All
Got
right.
it.
Something cool here is with the guys from Face the Fire. How you guys doing, man?
Doing
Good,
well, man.
Oh,
So congratulations on your newest single. That fucking track is amazing, guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We worked on that one for quite some time. So it's good to kind of see it come to fruition finally. So
Now that track, remember what you're made of. It has like a message behind it. Is that right? Is that did it inspire you that way to write it like that?
yeah, at first, I guess like when we, it's kind of funny because like when we first start writing songs, we usually just start them as like a big idea. You get a riff or something, you start going, and then you start to hear whatever song you're writing, and then you're like, okay, it feels a certain way, so you just kind of go with that. So sometimes there's a few ideas for it. It's like, oh, it could be this, or this, but I mean, basically, once the chorus hit and everything like that, it was kind of like pretty well figured out. Kind of, it was this one flowed pretty easily to kind of come out to a good meaning and stuff.
Now, did you guys do a lot of writing during the lockdown?
Yeah, I would say a reasonable amount. We've got a lot of pieces of songs we've still got to put together, but I mean, we always have like a bundle of kind of ideas. Basically, we come through riffs and vocal melodies and drum parts, this and that. I mean, Mike over there, he's got like endless drum beats, so that helps out a ton. It's easy to write to.
I just think, man, it's crazy when you think about it. It's such an absurd thing to say, like, what you do during the last year and a half, you know what I'm saying? During the lockdown, did you get this done or that? It just put everyone's life on hold, especially being a musician.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had at the time, right when COVID hit, we released the song that we have, Drowning. We released that, and Remember What You're Made Of was supposed to come out like last summer. That was part of the plan. And like you said, everything got halted and we didn't know what to do. And we were trying to be safe as possible with because COVID, we didn't know what it was yet, man. We didn't know the full extent of it, and we knew it wasn't good. So we tried jamming, I think, a few times. And then I think like last fall is when we really started writing.
Well, it's got to be, a different experience all the way around, especially, I mean, I'm assuming that you guys have to have jobs instead of just being musicians during these times, but it's crazy not knowing something that you're shooting for and trying to do that was taken away from you.
Oh, yeah. I was not the happiest guy on the whole thing. I hated every second of it.
Yeah, it's crazy because even like with regular work and everything like that, you didn't know what to do. You're like, man, like I work on cars for a living, so it's like, people pull up and you're like, man, I don't know if I really want to get in your car and breathe your air. I might die. So it's, one of those things to where you're like, it was a very, very like, and that, I don't know, it gets in your mind, it gets in your head, then you start thinking about it all the time, and then it was just, yeah. Let's not do that again. Let's not, right?
I'm still getting used to human interaction again. I mean, for such a long time, when someone came close to me, it's just like, fuck, in my mind, you're my enemy at that point. I don't know if you got the virus or you're gonna infect me.
You gotta keep a cattle prod on you at all times, and just when they get within a few feet, just pop it a little bit.
I mean, it took me a bit to adjust when people started coming up and talking again. I'm just like, you know what? Fucking 6 feet away still. I like that.
Don't you breathe on me? Which is weird because, like, I don't know. I'm always kind of like a germaphobe. So then the big germ comes, and I'm like, man, now I'm really a germaphobe. But I mean, I guess obviously, and whatever. I don't want to get into it too much, but you see, like, since the vaccine and everything else like that has come, it's like now these numbers are finally going down. So I feel like right now is kind of a test phase, right? Because my wife actually works in healthcare, so it's kind of like right now everybody's kind of masking off and kind of going back into society again, and concerts. And Mike was just at the 2/7 Dust shows, and I mean those things were packed. And, I think right now is a test to see what's going to happen in, the next month or so. And I guess we just play it by ear and find out as fall comes too. And, the flu and cold season comes back, see what happens, I guess. But I'm trying to be as positive as possible because, we just got to hope for the best and hope that this is on a downward trend for good, you know?
Oh, 100%, man. You know, I would love for the world to be back to normal, but you know, I do these Zoom interviews during all this time, and I'm able to do bands like all over the world. And I'll talk
Yeah.
to someone that's in a different country, and they did the same thing we did, where they're like, no more masks and everything's open up, and they fucking locked down again right afterwards after a month or two. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll find out. That's all we can do, right?
You know, it's funny. I was running some errands earlier today, and I'm not vaccinated, so I wear a mask. And I thought to myself, what time is going to come when they're finally like, you know what, sir, can you please take your mask off so we can see your face? Because back in the day, it was, you know, you put a mask on, you're fucking robbing the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
The first time I walk into the bank with my mask on, I'm like, I would have never been able to get away with this before. You know, it's good for people that are like, you know, a little bit introverted like me that don't necessarily love social interaction all the time, because you could just cover up your face and walk by.
Exactly.
You know, whatever. All things aside, yeah, we definitely prefer it to be back to normal for sure.
Now, speaking of getting back to normal, do you guys plan on doing any shows this summer? You guys got any touring planned?
Yeah,
You know, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
okay. So August 7th, yeah, we're playing a show at a place called Bottom Lounge in Chicago, with a band called Marwood's Fall, A Silent Truth. A band called Transgressions is also on that one, and there's another band. They just added two more, so I'm trying to remember who. I don't remember who the last band was, but then August 21st, we're with a band called Red, and we played with those guys at Bottom Lounge a couple years back. So we're no touring, but we're kind of inching our way towards constantly playing in our area again and starting that up again. But you know, fingers crossed that nothing goes bad
Yeah.
with this.
At
With
a-
whatever, I kind of, you know, I'm sick of, you know, I guess the good news about the Seven Dust shows is that nobody really talked about COVID too much. I think LJ was on stage and he goes, I don't even have to say it. You guys already know. And I'm like, cool. And then it was like, next song.
Right.
And I'm like, thank you. Because like, that's the last thing, like on stage, at least anybody should be talking about. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I would want to talk about.
Well, you know, I'm one of those guys that when I go to a concert, I don't want to hear shit but music. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear your thoughts on politics or fucking
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm here to have a good time, not fucking get a lecture.
Yeah. And I
Well-
feel like there's been enough. I kind of look at it this way too. There's been enough talking for a year and a half. It's like when you're on stage, it's like, to be honest, at this point, like no one say a word. Just continue to play the songs.
Yeah,
No more talking.
the other thing is like you're already there at that point. The room's packed. You're there. It is what it is. It's already going down. So you just got to play it for what it is at that point.
Now, have you guys played any shows yet?
No, August 7th is our first one back, and we are so excited.
We actually we almost, there was one that we were close to playing, which was like in July here, but we yeah, that one we unfortunately couldn't do. It would have been awesome to be able to get a little bit sooner, but I think the time where we get to start, we're all pretty excited about that. We're going to get a little bit more time to get some live practice and all that stuff. We Mike's actually in Wisconsin right now, where we're in Chicago area, so we got a little bit of distance in between us for that. So at least now we'll be able to hammer out a few more practices before we get back into it again, and then we can start rocking again.
When was the last time you guys played a show?
Oh man, it's good. January of 2020.
Fucking
Mhm.
think of that,
Yeah,
right?
January of 20, man. So I've already been rehearsed. Like I live in an apartment with a roommate, and thank God he's cool with me doing the drum stuff. But I have an electronic kit in my room, and I've been, starting to hammer out Face the Fire songs again. And I get to like that third song, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and I'm not even going full go. That's like quarter go. You know what I mean? Just making sure I have the parts down. And then when we get on stage, I can act like an idiot and a goofball and throw sticks and headbang and hurt myself and do all the fun stuff, all the extras.
Yeah.
But every song with me just playing, I'm like, I'm gonna need an inhaler, a fan, an ice bucket, a medic.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like things to get ready. It's just you're so used to like you're in the flow of things before, and even if you're not in the best shape to begin with, like a couple of us, I guess, it's still like you're used to it, so it's kind of consistent. You're just like, this is what I do, so your body's kind of like, whatever, I'm good. Right now, I think if today you were like, man, Brandon, you got to get up on the stage and play a show, I might have a heart attack. It might actually happen. So, I mean, I'm excited. We get to, I don't know. For me, at least, I got 30 days. I'm gonna be working out and practicing vocals while I'm on the treadmill or elliptical, and kind of getting all prepared and ready to go, because you use so much energy every show. You just try to give everything you can.
It's going to be interesting to see what bands just that bucket and just jump right back on stage without rehearsing or getting back in shape and stuff, getting ready to get back out. And
I hope we find out a band that does that. You'll have to let us know, because I'm gonna have to message him and say, how the hell did you guys do it?
Just to be able to get back in and go.
Well, I mean, you guys seen Vince Neil give it a shot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that, I guess. Hey, whatever floats his boat, I guess. We would never do that, so
No.
I have nothing to say on that one. It's whatever.
You know what? I mean, I guess he gave it his all, but he just I don't know. He's a little exhausted. I don't know, man. Somebody like that, I feel like personally, like I have a small thing to say about that. Like when you're in a position like that, and you have such a name behind yourself, like I think that's something you should take with pride, and he should be ready for his fans and stuff like that. I mean, granted, anybody can have a health thing happen while they're playing, but to be fair, when you're in a situation like that and you're a professional, like you got it, you got to be ready for your fans and to take care of them, and that's got to be able to be there.
Tell you got real excited about that. You stood up for it and everything.
No, I thought I heard a car alarm going off actually while I was here. So I was looking out the window a little bit while I was like talking, and it's all good. The car alarm's off. We're safe and good to go.
I thought you're just so adamant about that point. You're like, you know what?
Yeah. You know what? No, it's all good, man. I don't get that worried about that stuff, because I know we wouldn't put ourselves in that situation. So
Fucking with you, dude. It's cool. Now, speaking of shows and stuff, like you mentioned that you went to Seven Dust, and I'm assuming those were sold out. Are things in your area starting to get back to normal, where you see people actually buying tickets for shows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Wisconsin's the same way. I mean, Wisconsin's pretty much, they don't give a shit. They're ready to go. And that's why I'm like, I'm trying to get Face of Fire to play a show in Wisconsin, because these people are freaking nuts. And I love it. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm in Buffalo, and I'm still waiting to see what goes on. We haven't had a big show here yet. I mean, the first one it's supposed to be is Limp Bizkit is playing next month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I'm a huge Limp Bizkit fan, so that's perfect. I'll be there. When's the date?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how things go. I mean, I would have thought people would have been so excited. It would just been selling out like every show around here, but now,
yeah,
it's still fucking a lot of tickets left, I guess. So
yeah, it was in Moline. I'm sorry, Green Bay and Moline, Illinois. Yeah, they did. I guess the two shows. I mean, I went to them, so it was a lot of people. They, like I said, they miss live music so much. I mean, especially, don't get me wrong, Illinois was amazing, but Wisconsin, especially right now, just not giving a shit. Like I said, they're getting down with it in the pit and all that good stuff.
I was gonna say, how did the crowd act? Everyone behave?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess Monday, yeah. I mean, people were moshing, and there's like 3 or 4 crowd surfers on Monday. And then Tuesday, there was no crowd surfers, but people were definitely moshing, because we were getting all pushed around. And I was loving every second of it. I'm like, you can sweat on my arm. I don't care. Sweat on me. I don't give a shit.
Well, it's funny. I've been watching on Facebook and YouTube and all that shit, like baseball games, like the amount of fights that have been popping off has been crazy. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that don't go into a rock and roll show,
Yeah, no, I mean, not that I saw. I mean, you got me thinking now. Yeah, nothing like that happened. If anything, you'd think they'd be at a heavy metal concert or something like that. And
Depends on the band too. I feel like some bands just attract that kind of thing, and then some don't as much.
Yeah, like I said, I just hope, people haven't been around each other for the past year and a half, people forget how to act,
Yeah, no, people were good. If anything, people were hugging and slapping ass and high fiving, and it was all good.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I
that's
didn't. I mean, I didn't get my ass slapped, but I hugged some people.
slap any asses.
Oh yeah,
Morgan's, right?
yeah, right. Yeah, Morgan's ass definitely slapped it for sure.
Yeah.
After the show, you're like, oh, nice and sweaty.
So what's next for you guys after this?
Well, after the interview, I'm gonna finish this water and make some dinner, but I'm gonna mess it. No, so we're kind of letting Remember What You're Made Of kind of ride out a little bit more. And we've had, like we were saying earlier, we've been writing last summer and we've been writing a little bit here and there this year. But it's kind of like with Remember What You're Made Of, we're very proud of that song. We think it turned out great. And I know that the response has been really, really good from people. But the thing is, like, now we got to go back to the drawing board and find out which one of these songs in the writing process that we've been doing a year and a half now or whatever, like, okay, which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to go. So, I mean, we don't have like an album planned or anything, but I would imagine an EP at some point. We're just kind of like, we're just going to write out Remember What You're Made Of and see where it goes and, all that good stuff.
We'll be in the studio. We'll be in the studio before the end of the year. I will say that's a for sure thing. Like in my eyes, like that's a for sure thing. We will be back in studio before the end of the year. So my plan would be at the very latest, by beginning of next year, we'll have something else, but maybe even sooner. You never know.
Now, since the lockdown happened, I mean, the music industry standard has been just putting out singles instead of EPs or full albums. Do you guys agree with that? Or you think that's going to be like the route to take from here on out?
You know what? Like, you go ahead. I got kind of something to say on that too, but if you want to,
Yeah, you go first.
So I honestly, I think that, obviously albums are awesome, right? But with today and everybody on like, TikTok and doing these short little videos and everything, and just over time with social media, people's attention spans have gotten so small that it's almost better to release singles because, each song gets a place and gets to see how it does, right? Because like, if you get a whole album out and you get 14 songs, you might get, that whole album gets released at once and then people don't get their shot to listen to maybe every song because of attention spans and stuff. So, when you do one at a time, you can kind of give it its full deal. But, it can kind of go a couple of ways, I guess, because it's nice to be able to do a whole album at once or an EP or something too. But just, that's my opinion. And I honestly don't know what Mike says on it. So I'm interested to hear it too.
Yeah, I'd say I'm an album person, but yeah, in this day and age, I mean, what Brandon said, I mean, singles I feel like are the way to go, or at least an EP. I would say like a 5 or 6 song EP.
Mm-hmm.
Like people would still kind of give it the attention, I guess. But that's a tough one. I'm a lover of albums. Like if I go to, it's kind of random, but like Doja Cat, that's a new pop artist. That's my guilty pleasure right now. I love Doja Cat, but she just put a whole new record out, and I listened to the whole thing and I think it's great. And I'm okay with listening to the whole thing, but I know what the singles already were. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's like a love-hate thing. I don't know.
It's cool. You get excited, I guess, because like if you're doing singles, everything gets like, usually you get a video, you get this, you get that, so that's the cool part about it. There's a lot of media behind each song. So you get to get a little bit more out of each one. But yeah, I mean, like EPs and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely still a thing. So I guess either which way, but we'll definitely have some more before long here for sure. I do know that.
See, on a fan's perspective, I enjoy the single route only because I know that you're going to be putting out your best work. Like you can't put out a piece of shit and plan on banking off of that for 4 to 6 weeks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. True. Sometimes there's no, well, you try to make sure. I mean, obviously you can't hit every time, but you try to make sure at that point you definitely put a lot more effort into it when that's your shot right there. You know what I mean?
Well, the only thing is, I mean, like, there's, I don't know. I would say there's not that many albums. That's not true. some people just put fillers in an album. You know what I mean? It's never going to be hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And this just spares us from some of the shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why we try, not us personally, but I listen to records. I'm like, now how did that song get second or third on the record, man? That thing should be all the way at like 9 or 10, and 9 or 10 should be here. That's honestly when we did our album, me and our guitar player Matt, we were very like, not, I wouldn't say strict. We knew which way the song listing had to go, as to where Brandon, I don't think you, Josh, or Kevin really, I don't know if you guys really cared that much how the track listing would go. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
I think it was Matt who was Matt was very into how the track listing. I really wasn't, and for me it's not I don't know. Obviously you want in the beginning you want to hit her, and then towards the end obviously too, I feel like, but yeah, I wasn't too picky on it.
No,
I was.
If you guys aren't really concerned about the track listing on the album, how concerned are you about the tracks in your set list when you guys are doing a live show? I mean, how important is it to make sure it's got to be this, then this?
Oh, I'm a stickler. I mean, Brandon's smiling. I'm a stickler about it. I'm like, no, I'm pretty like, it's not if I don't get my way, it's the highway kind of. It's like, we'll figure it out. But I'm pretty. It's got to be this.
There are so like each song has some certain energies, and you different positions that you put the songs. Sorry about that. Different positions that you put the songs in, or you definitely want to put them in an order. I agree with that part. At least you definitely want to put them in an order to. I feel like on an album, people just skip around anyway. That's just my personal opinion. But I feel like when you're at a show, you have to give people an order of something that's going to keep everybody interested. So that's pretty much it. The flow of energy that you want, you kind of pick the songs for the flow of energy that you're looking for, I guess. That's the way I look at it.
So are you guys excited that Bill Cosby got released from prison today?
I seen that. You're trying to get me on something here, and I'm like, I got no comment, man. God, hey, man, hide your kids, hide your wives. I don't know.
I don't know anything about the guy. I didn't really pay that much attention to it because you know what? I don't know. There's more for me. There's at least, in that situation, for them to deal with that, they got to deal with that on that's their situation. And me, I just kind of try to deal with our day-to-day stuff and not worry about that because it doesn't have anything to do with me, thankfully.
Same way.
I didn't get any tainted Jello pudding pops.
Exactly. I'm the same way on things, man. It ain't fucking me. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now, people want to follow up. If they want to check out the video for this new track, they want to see some of them tour dates, they want to get tickets. Where do they go? What do they do for everything?
You taking it, Brandon?
I'll give everybody Mike's phone number so they can call him. He'll answer everything.
815-57. No, I'm just kidding.
You just I mean, standard stuff, man. Facebook, I guess we're probably the most active on there. I don't even know our Instagram. I think Matt updates it or something.
No. So our Instagram is Face the Fire Official. And then Facebook, I think, is like Face the Fire Band.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so that's that one. We're not with the times totally. Like, we don't tweet. We don't have a tick. We should make a TikTok. I'm a goofy dude, so I can figure out something funny to do. But yeah. And then we also have an actual website that should have the dates on there as well. Brandon, that's facethefireofficial.com, right?
Yeah. Usually it picks it up, like, especially if I don't know, like bands in town or whatever. If they throw it up, it always automatically adds it. So
and usually our ticket links are usually put on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, because it goes through like I think there's eTix, there's like Eventbrite, there's all sorts of Ticketmaster. I don't know, there's all sorts of stuff that they use for us. It's never the same one.
Now, with you guys adding official to your site and things like that, is there a lot of Face the Fire copycats that are trying to pretend it's you guys?
I hope not. I know.
Well, no, there was. I think there was one for a while, and it's like I think they kind of fell off or whatever. There was one other Face the Fire, and there can be only one, I guess, right? That's it. There's only one.
There's only one fire. Can't have multiple.
We almost had to fight him, but we didn't. No. We had to fight for the name, we had to go to battle, swords and stuff. I don't know. No,
That's medieval.
what's that?
That's very medieval of you.
Well, it
Swords.
had to be agreed upon. No, it's not other than that, no, we haven't really had any issues or anything.
I kind of agree with that route though, man. I wish more people would take, let's fight. And decide.
Yeah, right. Hey, wait, hold on. I have a shirt that says unity. We can't have fighting.
Yeah. You know what? I got the name. So do I. Well, fine. Let's fight.
Or take all bits.
Yeah. About it.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I love that new track. I can't wait to see you guys do bigger and better things.
Thank you, man. Hey, tell your son we said hello, man, and thank him again. Tell him we said thanks again for that interview. And obviously you, man, we thank you too.
Yeah. Tell him to keep rolling with that stuff. That's awesome. So, and you too, man. We really enjoyed hanging with you, and absolutely, man, it was a good time.
Cool. Like, hopefully the world opens back up and I'll be able to shoot the shit with you guys in person one of these days. When
Oh, we will, man. We promise. We don't know. We can't promise when, but we promise we'll get to you.
one of these years, that's for sure.
Maybe with Limp
All right.
Bizkit.
Yeah, you never know. All right, take it easy.
All right,
All right,
brother. Thank you so much.